ready to go. Well, hello, everybody. Good evening. It's good to see you. Welcome to another book read. And today it would be two amas and a ya. The balance has tipped. It's always 2 years and an ama. I thought we'll mix things up a little bit. We have two amas and a ya. I will start with Sister Ama. Sister Ama, you are welcome. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining. It is really good to have you here.
Thank
Auntie Ya,
you for having me.
Hello.
morning, Auntie Ya, evening, my
Good
end.
morning. Good morning. How are you all? Hello, Amma.
Hello. All is well. Everything is good. And today I have had a funny week. And after a funny week, you need to have some grounding. So I'm actually looking forward to what we're about to read. Sometimes you get confused by things that happen during the week. And there are days when you're not sure where you stand. It's really good to affirm your faith and to explore some of the questions you have. So that's what I'm hoping to do. So, Sister Amma, when we meet, I always bully the other person to read the book.
Okay.
And then I bully Auntie Ya to explain.
Okay. I don't
Say
find it
yes.
as a bully, but I will ask you I will bully you too to be asking questions
Oh, yeah, that's a deal.
or
I'll ask you
explain as well
loads of
too.
questions.
Then
Loads
I'll
of
go
questions.
ahead and read How to Build a Home. And
Ooh,
do I
ooh,
continue from there? Do I start
right.
from there, right?
Yes,
Let's
page
see how to
160.
Oh,
build
okay.
a home. That's a
Oh,
powerful
okay.
place to start. Yes, please.
Awesome. So I read. I am going to share some new insights that I got recently from Psalm 127, verse 1 to 2. In my mind, we tend to become overly familiar with Bible verses at times. Other times, we get it in a Holy Spirit opening our eyes, light flashing, and a light bulb goes on literally. So here is what Psalm 127 verse 1 and 2 says. Unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain who build it. Unless the Lord guides the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. It is it, it is vain for you to rise up early, go sit up late to eat the bread of sorrows, for so we give his beloved sleep.
Ooh, okay. That's an interesting intro.
Yeah.
But maybe, yeah, Sister Abba, could you read the next paragraph? I think up to blessings would be a good place to start discussing.
Tell tells me that this tells me that it is very important for our homes to be built on a firm foundation, one built on faith in God. I cannot imagine anything else. I am not saying that my life is perfect by any means. I just cannot fathom how I can rely on myself with all my weaknesses. To build a strong family life without God in it. I am so glad I have the rock to depend on and to guide me. I have fought many battles and do not know where I would be today were not for my faith in God. I am not interested in putting up a front of a life of perfection. Far from it. We did not come to Christ perfect. We are still a work in progress. If we acknowledge this, there will be no use for us to put up any front. It is so encouraging and refreshing to me among brethren who keep in real and keep up accountably. What a blessing.
An absolute blessing. So this week, like I said, it's a funny week for me because this week I have been watching a lot of people trying to talk about what happened in Orlando. And I have heard various accounts of different people's perspective of where Sylvester was and how changes had happened. And I've listened to so many different accounts. And sometimes when you hear so many conflicting thoughts, you find yourself also wondering where things stand. So it's very good, Antia, that we are reading about the foundation, the rock, which is the grounding for everything we do. Because somebody asked me a question earlier this week that I could not answer. So apparently, somebody's video had said that the guy had left the church 9 weeks before the incident happened. And so he says, is it possible for you to preach a gospel and to abandon a gospel? Does that mean that you had the faith in the first place, or was it lip service? And I'm like, you asking the wrong person right now. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. So Sister Amma, let me come
I do
first.
think, I'm sorry to interrupt. I
No,
do
you're not
think he
interested.
was actually asking the right person.
He was.
Yes.
I don't have an answer, so I'm not the right person.
Everything you say and do on this social media tells me that you were actually the right person to ask.
Really?
Because do we have to really be and do we have to be in that category before we say we know what we are talking about? No.
I
So
don't
I
know.
believe he was asking the right person. Atia, do you agree?
Yes, anybody can. You can attempt to answer based on your experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know. In my experience, you go through quite a phase like that, and sometimes, yeah, this week I was like, yeah, I see where you're going with that one, but, and then you see this one, and you're like, I hear what you're saying, but,
Mhm.
and I've had so many of the but conversation. At the end of those sort of weeks episodes, your own head
Mhm.
requires reorganization. So
Mhm.
I'm really looking forward to this conversation because I know this is the kind of conversation which allows you to reorganize
Mhm.
and to sort out what is an actual basic,
Mhm.
what aligns with your foundation and what doesn't. And Tia, let me ask you why you wrote this piece. Why did you write it?
I don't know. I read the verse. Like for me, when I read the Bible, then things come up to me, right? So I thought, oh, okay. Um, I call myself a faith-based writer. So when I read the Bible, I'm like, okay, what am I learning or what do I get from it? So it's just an
Yeah.
insight. And I thought, oh, okay. Like at that time, I was writing a lot of, I was in a women's, a Christian women's blogging group. So we write things and share. So I thought, oh, okay, maybe I'll just write this up. It was one of the, I can't say with this one, important as the topic is, I can't say that it came to me with any particular inspiration. It's just, oh, I read, oh, okay, what can I get from these verses? And then I put it out. And there's some in the book that I wrote that boom, it just hits you and you write it up. So, but I thought, we don't think about it, right? And I mean, this is the Bible is for those of us who call ourselves believers. Yet there's other people who are not even believers and they are raising families and they are also working on the basic principles of right and wrong. And they live their lives by that. They teach their children this is right, this is wrong. They have their principles. So that's kind of where I thought let's shed some insights because we tend to take, even as the believers, we tend to take it for granted. In some previous lives, the example that you even gave of, you know, somebody comes to the house and then you tell your child to go and say, I'm not home. Remember, I'm missing
Yeah.
me if so you are actually you are lying. So what have you taught the child? And you say you go to church, you've read the Bible, yet you're telling your child to go lie. So that in itself can put them off. Yes.
Well, that's screaming hypocrite, 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 hypocrite. And if
Yeah.
your kid is one of these kids that we are raising, especially abroad, that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly how they will read it. That's exactly how they will
Yes.
interpret it. My mom is a hypocrite, so don't take her seriously. And after
Mm-hmm.
that point, anything you say loses its value. And it's one of
Mm-hmm.
the reasons why a lot of the kids don't respect what we say, because
Yes.
what we do is inconsistent. It's
Mm-hmm.
confusing. It really is. You know, I was looking over the scripts,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking at the actual sound, and it's
Mm-hmm.
one of those very a word in season. It's very much a word in season because I was thinking that you could work so hard and somebody else could end your life like that one day.
Yes.
No warning, no planning, nothing. That you are very vulnerable in life when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Very vulnerable. And yeah, this week my heart has been heavy around that topic. But when you read that, the first thing was almost that verse, peace be still. If the Lord says it shall be, it shall be. And if he says it shan't, it shan't. And sometimes you just don't stress yourself, you don't worry yourself, you don't labor trying to rationalize what you don't know or what you don't
Mm-hmm.
understand. And it's
Mm-hmm.
peace be still to my spirit. Like I said, I am looking for answers. And yeah, that first reading really did connect with me from that angle. I don't know if any of you has ever interpreted that sound this way before, because this is the first time for me. I've never even read that sound and had that feeling before. Peace be still, and this sound have never connected before. But for the very first time today, when you read it, that was all that screamed at me. You labor in vain if it is not with the appointed script.
Yes.
And if it shall be, it shall be.
Yeah.
And if it shall not be, it shall not be.
Mm-hmm.
So peace be still. Don't labor too much. It will be what will be. Very interesting. Sister Shayla, are you ready to read a
Yes,
little bit
please.
more?
Yeah. With what? The next paragraph.
The
With
next
what I
paragraph.
said, I will have you know that I have not always practiced some of the things I'm about to share with you. However, as we grow older, we become more mature and ask ourselves. This is the part I highlighted. Why did I figure this out? Why did I not figure this out earlier in life?
Yeah,
I could have saved myself a whole lot of trouble.
yeah.
That is the beauty of it all. You are you are growing and becoming. Because of the spirit at work in you, thank heaven. Let us move on now.
Wow.
This to me, well, uh, if I would say something little about it,
Please go ahead.
he will put she put a little thing at the top for you to read. As much as it's so simple, it gives you a little thing for you to think about around. Then she will conclude it very beautifully for you to know that yeah, this is exactly what I mean.
Yeah,
So it's like anytime anytime I read, I'll come back and say very awesome,
yeah,
because she have a way of complete uh, back when we say summarizing it at the bottom
yeah,
for you to
Mm-hmm.
get it. I don't know if you have noticed that on
yeah,
the book.
yeah.
So like I said, I haven't really gone far with it that much, but the way that when she put the passage by the end of it, or she summarized it for you to get to know what it is, that will actually permit me to keep telling people as we keep on doing this book read that it's good, it's easy, one of the easiest book I've read so far.
Yeah.
That
That's
hasn't
good.
really given that hasn't really given me the opportunity of finding the meaning, or so I'm always running around to find the meaning of words myself. I am a little creepy about that. What does that mean? And I'll be questioning myself about it. And this book hasn't given me anything of that sort yet
Mm,
because
that's
of the
good.
way it's been concluded. But when I come to the part, the page that I really highlighted, how did I not figure this out earlier?
Yeah.
I will confess that all of us, or everywhere you are, no matter what, being a believer or not, you also asking yourself, how come? How not? If you are not doing this, then you have to start doing that, because this is how the reality is. If you are not questioning yourself, oh, so this is not, if you are not knocking yourself to come out to say, oh, so this is what it is, or how come I didn't get it then obviously you are losing the point.
It's very
You see,
interesting.
yeah.
Very interesting. And like I said, sometimes something is a word in season, and I was actually looking forward to this being a word in season because I needed one. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you ask yourself, why didn't I? And I've been doing that recently a lot.
More often.
Why is it? We've changed locations, we've come to live in a new city. I got this job last year, but we chose
Mm-hmm.
not to move. And I actually did the stupid commute every day, if you guys remember.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 2 hours,
On
2
the
hours
road again.
on the road again constantly. And yeah, I've asked myself many, many times now that we've made the move, why did we not do it last year? It would have
A
made
whole
so
lot
much
of
sense at
questions
that
I
time.
I ask as I ask myself more often. How come? How come? It should have been this if I should have done it this way.
Yeah.
And I know it's not the end. We will keep doing that more often. So if you're not doing it, then viewers and listeners start doing it.
But it's funny when you do that and you start reflecting. And over the last 2, 3 weeks in particular, I've done what if, what if, what if. And this week, I've met quite a few people, a few things have happened, and I've come to the simple realization if I had done it last year, it would have been a disappointment. It was not the appointed time. It just wasn't. And so there was no conviction to move, there was no urgency about it. When you look at the times, it would have made more sense, but I didn't feel that inclination to act on it. And
Mhm,
these 3 or 4 people I have connected with this year who would not have been available to connect with last year,
mhm,
who would have been in a completely different space, would have made the move completely useless if I had done it last year.
mhm.
And yeah, it's very interesting what we are reading. And yeah, I
Mhm.
like coming to you all the time because I like to get your perspective when you wrote. So this is how we are reading and this is how we are interpreting it. Is this what you were feeling when you wrote? Is that what you intended?
Yes. Well, you see, for me, it's that question. Um, I'll give an example. There was a lady that I was talking to a long, well, this is years and years ago, I'm sure. One of these conversations that either you are visiting in somebody's home or you are at a party and it comes up. Even the typical example, how did I not figure out this earlier? So, okay, say you are married, you are with your spouse, and every time you know men, something happens and then they want to go on and on or whatever about it. And so they are going on and on, and you go and meet them going on and on. It gets to a point, she brought it up. She goes, oh, a middle stage, when the person is saying something, you even act like you haven't even heard. You don't even respond. Like you just let it go, leave them, let them keep talking. When they realize you are not responding, they just stop. Like it cuts off a lot of things, and it's one of those things that you go, oh, why didn't I, there's no point in it because you talk, he talks, pretty soon you're going to have a full-blown argument, but somebody has got to have the wherewithal to say, hey, let me back off and let him deal with it later on. When he realizes you're not responding later on, when things cool off, then he'll come back and talk about it some more. So it's just different things. And as Sheila was even speaking, that if you are not doing it, do it more. My favorite phrase that I use comes to mind. If you are not questioning yourself or questioning things throughout your life, then you're just drifting through life. That's one of the expressions that you need to be, some of these things we say, like I'll give an example. Every day we see people fighting, arguing, doing whatever on Facebook. And then we see people like you, the Maries, the Franklinas, the Mandys doing all this education. And then you ask yourself, why don't people stop and why don't people come to these platforms and want to learn, right? And so we're not questioning anything, or like you've moved from something I had in a class that I take on Sundays. This gentleman described it so perfectly that we haven't done, if you've moved from your country and then you've come here, be it UK, Canada, US whatever, and then your life is a triangle from home to work, work to church to home, and you're not interacting with anybody outside of that, that's also drifting through life. Are you asking yourself that, have I stopped to see, am I getting the benefit of the environment in which I'm living?
No,
Am I interacting with other people outside of my normal circles?
no.
So then you're not asking by the time you figure it out, it might be too late. So the
Yeah.
figuring out has to be happening constantly. Mhm.
Okay. All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining, and thank you especially to those of you who shared. If you haven't, could you do us that favor of sharing so this becomes available to your network? We are reading from Reflections for a Thirsty Soul. It's a book by ATTOBRAH, and today we are looking at how to build a home, because I clearly want to know how to build a home. I have been building a home for a while, but I don't know if I've actually been competent in doing so or not. So we shall find out.
Same
Yeah,
here.
get ready to start reading part one. Let me get my notebook ready because I want to know how to build a home. Goodness me. You ready, Sister Sheila?
Well, sorry, I was on mute and I'm reading.
I'm right. Oh,
How to build a home. 1. Build it on love.
ooh.
Love is paramount. And is the ministry, or shall I
Won't stay.
say, ministry, or shall I say, a backbone of any relationship. I am not talking about the feely love. Touchy-feely love thing. What? Tingy? Is that it?
Thingy. Thingy.
Tingy. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean real love in action, which is hard to do. A commitment to stand together through thick and thin. Things involve dying to self on a daily basis. Yes, our family members drive us crazy. And there was a strange in this one, crazy. Sometimes, but we are called to love them. Sometimes we are not lovable ourselves. It
Ooh.
is easy to say love has gone out the window. So I'm going out the door. You see how I say she does it?
Yeah.
She put
She
a
does it
little
very well
and
too.
then yeah.
It's easy to say love
Yeah.
has gone out the window, so
Wonder.
I'm going out of the door.
And then you go
Very
out the door.
interesting. Mm.
And then here she said, rethink this, will you? This is not that simple. Love has to be selfless. Though, as it sounds, let us just try a little harder. The scripture, uh, 1 Corinthians 13, Romans 12, verse 9 to 10, and Colossians 3:14. Those are
Wow.
the scriptures there.
Build it on love.
Build it, and then we have two. Do we discuss build it on love
Let's chat
first?
about build
Okay.
it on love first a little bit
Mhm.
before we go any further. Auntie, this you're building it on love thing. That's tough, okay? Because that's a fine line between love and nonsense.
Yes.
Or love and hate.
Thin line, very thin line between enabling foolishness and loving. And it's one of the things I want us to discuss because I've seen many people confuse love for enabling nonsense.
Yes.
So, yeah, where do we draw that line? Where does it lie?
Well, you see, there has to be respect in the equation before the love. If somebody respects you, they'll show you that level of love that is required in the relationship. I know there's a lot of nonsense going on in some of our relationships, leading to people taking advantage, people enabling bad behavior. That's not like I'm talking about. Okay, you are together, you a man and a woman and your family. You, it's almost like you've signed a contract with each other. Yes, you have, and it's give and take. Like in a relationship, okay, you are the woman, you're going to do this. You are the man, you're going to do. There's things that you do. There's children in the family. They also have responsibilities, and you love and you honor each other. Like if you love somebody, love is not like I was describing. It's not the feely, stand outside. Yeah, you're chrome. We are two opposites of the spectrum. You're chrome, no. We're too. What do you call it? Too stiff. We don't show love. And our bro, then they'll be kissing and doing things. Sometimes I laugh and I go, why don't you get a room? So the level of that commitment, like love is a verb, it's a doing, it's an action. So you show love by your actions. So what actions are we portraying in these relationships of ours is what I'm talking about. Like if you're a man, woman, you commit to both go out and bring home the bacon. It's not like a man sitting there saying that media, micro PhD, some jobs are beneath me, and then you, the woman, have to work yourself to the bone. We're not talking about that kind of nonsense. So
If it's beneath you, you don't spend the
But
money
as
either.
you put it here, to say love has gone out of the window, so I'm going out of the door.
yeah, but let me finish. I'll come to that point. And I said the man and the PhD. I'll go to the other side too. There are some women too who still work with that old mentality that is the man who has to look after them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they just sit at home, not doing anything with themselves. And then you ask the question, which is fine. I mean, there's times, I know there's periods of time, like even with us where I work, there's maternity leave and there's even parental care. You can take up to 5 years till your child gets into kindergarten or whatever. So a woman can still be staying at home and doing their own thing, doing some business or whatever it is on the side. I'm not talking about those ones. There's some that are just, it's like a learned helplessness. They sit there,
Yeah.
my children, and then the children will grow up. What are you doing with yourself? So these are all aspects of we seem to have missed something. Like we have values that we grew up with, but you need to question those values. In those old times, yes, they used to say that, but do you want to be at the beck and call of a man? So excuse me to say you're a woman and you need to go buy your monthly items and you're going to go ask the man for them? Or your child comes to you and asks you, oh, mom, I need this. And then you say, wait till your dad comes home. Well, isn't it nice to say, oh, here's $10, go take care of it or whatever. Or even to tell them, look, I don't have it now, but wait 1 more week. If that thing, if it's something you can be waiting for a reasonable time, I'll get you the money, So that independence, like respecting each other, these are some of the dynamics. So if you're going to, like I keep reading some lady who does this relationship stuff on Facebook, you read things and some woman will come and say, oh, I met this man, he wants to marry me, but he doesn't have a job. And I'm like, but ding, 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 that's your red flag. What are you talking about? Are you the one going to go marry him? So, I mean, that's some of the dynamics that I think about. And love meaning you have to show caring. It's okay. Like we didn't grow up with this moo, 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 kissy, this, that, but you learn, you learn. Okay, Amma is kissing herself over there. You live and learn. Okay, I didn't grow up that way, but me, like, whether I like it or not, like, my girls will come and hug me, or at night you say good night, love you, blah blah blah. Even my son, he's older, and he's like, anytime he visits or he's leaving or whatever, you get the hug, and it's okay. I mean, like, he was raised in Ghana, so I don't know why it's awkward sometimes, but he'll say, love you, mom, or texting or this or that. And I say, yeah, love you, son, blah, blah, blah. You learn. But it's not life, it's not about the hey. Oh yeah, call a bonnie if you need TB and NIMBY. That's all that we do. It is okay to show your child that you love them. Because if you don't, that's where the self-esteem issues and those things come up. And when you're in a relationship too, it's okay. Like some of our men, some of our women, we are so stiff, we don't know how to show caring to each other. It is okay. Learn it.
But I am messing, but listen, for me, this is very important because this is one of the things that we should not confuse. Yes, we want to love other people, but you also have to obey the very simple instruction in scriptures. It says, love thy neighbor as thyself. As
Okay.
thyself. That's the part of the scriptures a lot of us forget to read.
Yes.
It doesn't say enable your husband over yourself. Your husband is a neighbor. You love him just as you love thyself. You entertain him as much as you entertain thyself. You take care of him as much as you take care of thyself. You are not wiser than the good Lord. And he has not sent you to be a saint. He's not asked you to sacrifice yourself for anybody else. He says, do unto others as you will have done to you. And this is actually, it's something that rhymes through the Bible, but a lot of us completely ignore because we want to be more holy than we should be. We want to be seen as saints, and we are not required to be. We are required to be humans. We are required to live peaceably with other people. We do unto people as they should do to us. And if you are enabling at your expense, then I'm sorry, that balance has tipped. Don't care what anybody says.
Amma, what you just said raised another point, the love your neighbor as yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't you think a lot of the problems that we're having is because we don't love ourselves enough? So this is
Yes,
why
ma'am.
we are not loving other people. And that's why we have
Yes, ma'am.
all these problems that we have.
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent,
Why
exactly.
would I go somewhere talking about our mind saying, oh, Sama, I'm no cross, blah, blah, blah. You know,
Yeah.
because
And you
you
know
can't,
when you love you and
sorry?
other people, when you love you and
Mhm,
other people have these silly expectations,
mhm,
and you know in your heart of hearts that you give as much as you take,
mhm.
that nonsense doesn't actually disturb your peace. It doesn't disturb
Yeah.
your equilibrium. When you are looking to other people to validate what you do, they will
Mhm,
always ask standards higher than you can give. And it
mhm,
depletes what you have in here. You cannot give what you don't have. And
mhm.
as you become
Thank you.
depleted, you begin
That's
to
my
have,
word.
oh yeah,
You
you
just
begin
can't
to
give what you
claw back,
don't have.
Mhm,
because you are feeling empty. You are
mhm.
depleted. And so in
Yeah.
trying to claw back, you actually claw unnecessarily from other people around, and you become a problem. You do.
Yes.
When I'm
Ah,
settled,
Yes.
when
You
I
just
am
can't give
filled,
what you don't have. Yeah.
oh no, when I'm filled and I'm
Yeah.
satisfied, I'm actually quite generous. When I am depleted and there is nothing left, I claw and I'm selfish and I'm very harsh and I'm very difficult to deal with. And anytime I find that I am not living peaceably with other people, I do a retrospect and I discover that I am not living peaceably with me first. The problem always starts with me. And if I correct that feeling, that deficit feeling I have, then what outward lashing out I do express to other people also sort of calms itself down, and we get to live in peaceably with people. And it's very important that more of us become aware that the yardstick of measurement of love is of the love you measure to yourself.
mhm.
You love yourself
Yes.
first, and then you apply the same measurement, unit of measurement, to the love you apply to other people. And until you've learned to do that, you cannot love anybody else.
You couldn't have said it any better, my sister.
Thank you. Sometimes I borrow wisdom from Antia and I look like I brought it out.
Listen to her. Amma, so what you were saying, as you were saying depleted,
Yeah.
I have a point to make, but I won't dwell long on it because that's a totally other discussion. Depleted, and then it led me to this situation of, yeah, speaking of depleted, why is it that our women, because of this Obadia stuff that we've been taught, so, oh, I have to do the cooking. Oh, me don't know, then you go to work, come back, and you do all this kikri, 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 back and forth to the detriment of your health. So you get depleted. Show yourself some love.
Forget about
It is
health. You get
it,
angry.
it is okay to the anger will lead to your health issues too. It is it is okay. It is okay to open your mouth and ask for help, not sit there
Yes,
and be
ma'am.
a superwoman.
You are not.
Loving yourself is not being a superwoman. I'll tell anybody out there who will listen. I do what I can. If you're going to judge me, you to get up and do something.
That's
The expectations are too much, so I wonder, like sometimes though, the expectations on women. So as we're speaking about love in our community, do we love women, or are they just workhorses and donkeys? I don't know.
No,
I'm
I
just asking.
did. If you've watched any of the things I put out this week, the word I have actually highlighted the entire week is misogyny. We are very
Yeah.
misogynistic. We really are. Both
Yeah.
the males and females are misogynistic because that's
Yes.
the mental construct of
Yes.
the moral fiber we all subscribe to. It's
Mm-hmm.
misogynistic. The church people are misogynistic.
Yes.
The non-church people are misogynistic.
Yes.
The Okonfor in the farm somewhere coming is misogynistic. The Pamwine Kappa is very misogynistic. The professor, just as misogynistic. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. Doesn't matter the colorings and the paintings and the outward expression. Deep
Amma,
down,
Amma,
to
let me interrupt you. I'm laughing because of the Okonfo's wife who doesn't eat some of the chicken and she's making him put you.
it's true. Don't you know this
Hey.
Okonfor wife? Even the chief's wife is also in the same position. They cook in pusto for the men. The women never taste this meat. It's true. They won't let you use it for light soup because if you use it for light soup, you will cook with it and you might be tempted to serve yourself as well. They will let you make puso and then they will ask you to bring the whole pot outside to them. So you don't get a chance to take anything out. You don't taste it because meat is not for you.
I have a question for you. Ever married to one before?
I know, but I know many of them. So you remember I told you as a young child, I was a very naughty kid. And I lied underneath my dad's three-seater sofa. There was this space that just fits me snugly. And because I was a naughty kid, and I knew that was the hotspot to get the juiciest gossip from the community, because people come to my dad and they tell them, sometimes the women will also come to my mom and they will tell her. And because I'm lying underneath there, a man will leave 5 minutes later, his wife will come. And I was listening to both perspectives. And I came to some interesting conclusions, actually. I've said this on record before. If my big sister hadn't got married early, and I hadn't seen how my big sister interacted with her husband, I probably would never have married. I was that disillusioned. The nonsense I had seen as a kid was not one I was going to subject myself to ever. I did not want to do this nonsense.
I can relate because I when all my mates were busy and was in this element of the mode to settle down, my mind wasn't there. And that brings me back to the same passage that why didn't I thought about it earlier?
Yeah.
Why was my mind not there? Not because I didn't do it earlier, but I question myself up to date. Why was I not in the mood then? Or why is it that my mind wasn't there? Because for most of my friends that I could remember, that was all they were thinking about. Then I'll be questioning myself, why am I not even thinking about that? Why
Because you
is
know
it that
they'll
my
come
mind is not there?
You didn't fit
to
the mold.
no.
You didn't fit the mold because the culture.
I see it in a different level, and they were also
Hmm.
seeing it in a different aspect of. They see different aspect of it. I'm seeing a different level of it. I
Yeah,
don't
that's what I'm saying. Like if it's something that I ask myself that okay, in our culture, is that the main thing that a woman you are born and you are groomed and go get married, have children? Is that all? And that is all the expectation that some men have
Yes,
of women. Come
and
and
some
cook
women
and
have
clean
of
up the.
other women as well.
Yes,
Remember, the misogyny is not just with men.
both sides. Yep.
A lot of women have also been brainwashed with the misogyny. They have accepted it as norm and they are preaching it like the gospel. You
Mm-hmm.
see a lot of women in the pulpit who preach misogyny and they don't even recognize what they are doing.
know. But it's
They
only
don't understand that it demeans what the Lord has created. I
Mm-hmm.
am the Lord's creation. I am supposed to be a helpmate, but my good God, I am not here to be abused. Sorry. And even the
Yeah.
Lord says, when your hospitality is abused in a place, you get out of the place, you dust your feet. You
Mm-hmm.
don't even take the dust with you. That's also in the Bible. But the funny thing is, in our community, we read the Bible with our filters on.
Mm-hmm.
We
too
only
much.
perceive certain parts of the Bible which suit our misogyny. And the parts of the Bible which does not foster it, we do not preach it, we do not read it, we pretend it's not there, but it's
No,
there.
Sister Ama, the whole thing, the whole point here, in my opinion, is we were not given the chance or the room to ask questions about we were being taught and I think that was the whole thing.
Yes.
Because
Suppression.
definitely most of them would have questioned what is it, but we were not given that room. That
Yes.
opportunity wasn't there for us to be able
Yes.
to ask questions. It was just there that listen to it and
And
just
do it.
accept it for what it
Yes.
is.
You
If
are
you were
right.
given the opportunity to ask questions about it, know a little more about it, things would have been a lot different. So
She's right.
that is how
She's
I
right.
put it.
Yeah, because there's a live that I did on Straight Talk called Lies, Lies, and More Lies. And I asked that question. I said, why is it that we're doing what we're doing now to each other? The backbiting, the whatever. We've
Yes.
stuffed our feelings and you couldn't respond to anything. You couldn't ask any questions. And back to what you guys were saying before about Amma, you were saying reading the Bible wrong and interpreting it. One of my favorite statements that I make or I throw into this live, so where the topics are appropriate, is I always say that it is culture versus faith. And a lot of times the culture wins over the faith, because I'll
Because the
tell you
culture
that,
is deeper than the faith.
yes, I'll tell you that, the Bible tells me that rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. Yet when we are rejoicing in church, you see the same people who are supposed to rejoice with you showing envious behaviors. Or I heard the
I will
story
put
of a
this
young
guy.
man. I heard the story of a young man who's written a book, and he was doing he's a member of a church, and he's doing a book launch, and only 4 members show up. Do you get what I mean? So culture, no, like the envy, it's still there. The work hasn't, the Holy Spirit, no, on your Juma, it's not worked on us to clean us out and open us up to be, hey, I like what Joe is doing. Oh, I like what you're doing. We don't know how to do those things. And that is not love.
Yes. I will put this guy as an example. Avram Ben Moshe. I listened to him. When he get the pastors, they have a valid point to debate this guy. But because the pastor did not have the room we were not giving, the pastor couldn't give a chance for the audience to ask questions. This is what you meant. How is that mean? The pastors make their own
Critical
words
thinking.
and put their own interpretations around it, and they give to you. And to you, accept it. This is what I'm saying. Don't take anything back from me. So if you intend to ask them back, they become the whole thing changes. And if you are not strong enough, they will tell you, "Oh, you are evil. Why are you asking this? You should just accept it and just take it." Avam is beating these pastors on their own game because Avam is asking them questions, and the fact that they can't answer it, it has somersaulted. It's a mess somewhere, and
And
Avam seems to be winning.
And it doesn't even seem like, it doesn't necessarily mean that Avram is right. It's just that
Not
those
at
guys
all.
they
Not
are
at
not
all.
on their
It's
game.
simply because he's questioning them.
Yes, they are not on their game. Even
It's simply because he find a way to be questioning them.
But
Where because in their own learning, they find it to be, you are not supposed to ask me questions. Just
I
yes,
accept
am,
what I'm
you
giving
know
you.
what,
Amma, let
you know
me
what
throw
is very,
something in. Mhm.
okay, throw in.
Let
Throw
me
in and
throw
I'll
what she's saying. Yesterday, last night or so, I saw this gentleman. I forget what program it was. I think it's this Fanti lady, and she was questioning some guy, interviewing some guy, and I don't remember if he's a pastor or whatever. And the topic they were talking about is masturbation a sin or something? And just by some of the things that I wasn't there from the beginning, but in reading the comments and listening to what the guy was saying, I thought to myself, this person seems out of touch. And people had written it. They said, no, what you're saying here is not right. You're out of this. That's the old mentality. Like they don't broaden their
it's
perspectives.
hilarious.
They
I
don't
laugh
broaden
my head
their perspectives, and they don't they are not connecting, they are not engaging people. Because when somebody is doing something that you think is bad, you don't go by just lashing them and saying that's sinful, like how you just described. Why are you questioning me? You are evil. That's the mentality we have. And it was too bad. I think I was at my son's place and I happened to learn. I said, oh, I can't listen to this. I'm in company, but I thought some of the ideas that you hear, you go, where from this?
But
Is
it's
this
another thing I do. So listen, I know a lot of you listen to Avram, and I've always told you what Avram is doing is no different from their comfort. It's no different from their software. It is still the same script. And I remember saying this very early on, and people came for me, people attacked me because I had said. But the point of it is, Avram is a Ghanaian guy. Avram, when you listen to Avram, especially when he talks about women and our role in society, it's not different from what the priest says.
Exactly.
It is not different from what the Malam says. It is not different from what the atheist says. These woke people are so woke, but they don't know the position of women in anything. And I always say to them, do you realize that you and this guy are identical? And you are also identical to the other guy, but you have different faiths. You don't, he goes to church, you go to the mosque, he goes to the farm, this one goes somewhere to a shrine. But because you grew up in the same environment and you all have the same fundamental misogynistic construct, when it comes to women and women's position in society, we find all of you out,
Wrong.
regardless
Yes.
of what you say outside,
Yes.
regardless of the noise you make about other things. The truth about where you stand becomes clear when we discuss women. And baby, if you go into the shrine, they'll tell you about the from the Bema Father Pampam do so. It is, they say, go to the church. The pastor will tell you it's okay. It is the devil. The devil only attacks men. The devil never attacked the woman
that's
before.
women?
The woman was an infidel, it was because she was a witch. She should be stoned to death. If a man is an infidel, oh, it is the devil. Try the same thing with the malam in your village. It will be the same position. Go to the Okomfo. The Okomfo will cast out demons from a woman. It's because she's not virtuous, blah, blah, blah. A man does the same thing. Okomfo does not have anything to cast out. Haven't we found out that it's the misogyny in our community which is the problem? And it's not the colors people wear. Has nothing to do with politics, has nothing to do with religion. It is our culture, the social construct. What is normal to us is very weird.
Very,
Amma,
very weird.
I'll add one quick point to that. Um, I I was talking to a woman, and when people are voicing their opinions, and the person was very like categorically that if my spouse ever cheats, no, that's it, I'm done. And I thought, just the way the conversation went, and I thought, wow, full respect. Because other women, excuse my language, but he goes and he puts his thing into so many holes, and you are willing to accept it and the disease and all that it comes with. It's not like I was so surprised by what the woman was saying, no, but I thought I'm the same way myself. So I thought, by hearing it, somebody verbalize it, and I
Yeah.
was listening, I'm thinking, wow. I was just like, wow. And I said, so what happened to the other women? Why are we so accepting of this
Oh, I
kind
can
of
answer that question for you.
Mhm.
What happened to the other women is because your mother told you that she survived it with your dad, but your mom didn't survive. Your mom is mentally unstable. You just haven't worked it out. I'm not joking.
It's true.
Your mom has anger management issues because of
Mhm.
what she thought she had survived with your dad. She has not survived. The pastor's wife will tell you she made it and raised 5 children. She has no self-esteem left. She did not survive. Your grandmother will tell you your grandfather was a good man, but she is unstable because of the very good man she hung on to. She did not survive. And you think that you will survive, so you go and try. By the time you find out you did not survive, it is too late. It is too late. Nobody
No.
survives. Nobody
Sister Amma,
survives.
let's put it this way. You went there telling yourself that they all went through it. So let me accept it like that.
They didn't make
So
it,
you were not going there telling yourself that
but
I
they
will
didn't
make
make
it.
it.
But you go there telling yourself that, oh, they all did it. So I guess I have to.
So you also don't want to make it. How sad. How
Yeah.
sad. Nobody makes it because it is against the way the human mind
Yes.
is constructed.
Yeah.
Betrayal of anything. I mean, when somebody betrays you, you go insane. You do. Even over little things. When somebody betrays you, when a friend betrays you over something little you told them, see how that affects you. When somebody betrays you over money, even if it's a small amount of money, Think how that affects you. See when somebody betrays you, when you've helped them and they've not done anything positive back for you, but they turn around and backbite you. See how it hurts. But these people are insignificant in your life. Now take it and multiply by a factor of million to your spouse and tell me, how do you survive? How do you cope? How do you make it? You don't.
Yeah.
You just don't. And it's about time a lot of the women who have not made it come out and tell the truth. Your pastor's wife is a bit insane. Your mom is a little bit loopy.
Did you say a little bit?
Yeah,
You are giving them the credit by saying a little bit.
I'm politically correct here because I'm referencing a mom. Your auntie is imbalanced and you know it. She's angry over anything, even the rocks in her house. Her own children. Is that what you want to be? Because that's exactly who you become if you walk down that path. If you pretend you can cope, this is what will happen to you in the end. So now that you know what will happen, do you still want to do it? And my answer is fuck off, I'm not doing it. Sorry. Apologies, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I am not ending up that way in the end. Sorry. Excuse my friend. No, not doing it. Not doing it. Stella, you are laughing. I'm being dead serious. Look back over the very women we all idolize. My mom did it with my dad. Huh? Your mom accepted 6 children from the side. Look at your mom properly. Is your mom saying? Is your mom 100% the way a woman, her age, her experience should be? Does your mom have anger issues? Has your mom ended up with hypertension? Has your mom got all sorts of cardiovascular illnesses because she was crying herself to sleep at night? She was imagining where his member was coming from every time she came into her. Do you know what that does to your mind? When you don't know where it has been, but you are about to receive and you don't know what infections he's bringing to you. Do you know what that does to your mind? And then
but Amma, there's women who come on lives and say that it's okay, you should, or he goes and comes back, hug him, kiss him, receive him.
But those themselves are insane. So of course, it's the insanity speaking. I'm not joking. They are imbalanced themselves. So it is the imbalance speaking. They are warped because they are victims, and victims sometimes can be, when you have been a victim for a while, it changes the way you think, it changes the way you construct things, it changes the way you rationalize things. So yes, when somebody is imbalanced and speaking, do you take their word for it? No thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hello, no Mami Amma.
Sister, brother. Hello. So yeah, we are talking some deep stuff. Yeah, we have a lot.
Okay. We have, should I continue on build it on kindness?
Yes,
thank you. So we have part 2, build it on kindness, by showing affection, gentleness, and concern towards one another. There is no room for selfishness in the family setting. Parents must model to their children. Of course, a lot of children are self-centered and all about themselves. However, teaching our children to be selfless should be an integral part of how we raise children in a godly home. Scriptures: 2 Corinthians 6 verse 6, Colossians 3:12, 2 Peter 1:7.
Build it on
It's
kindness.
really awesome.
So, yeah, explanatory, isn't it? But it's interesting that it says that there is no room for self-centeredness. Let's chat. Again, a lot of us are enablers and we only read one side of a script. I am supposed to be kind. No, your partner is supposed to be kind right back. I am supposed to be gentle. No, it says love one another. Be kind to one another. It didn't ask you to be kind to one person and for the other person to be unkind back. That's the point for me. You have to read the scripture in its balance. Be kind to one another. As I am being kind to Shayla, she has to be kind back to me. And as I am being kind to her, if Shayla
No, Amma, they will tell you that You have to do good and not expect anything back.
Oh,
That's
you
what your
didn't even
pastor
hear
will
the
tell
more
you.
controversial statement. I said, as I am being kind to Shayla, and Shayla doesn't seem to be very aware of kindness, I need to withdraw some of it so she knows what she's lost. I need to teach
No,
Shayla
Good.
I think
to
you should,
appreciate my
you that
kindness.
is giving kindness should also feel, ask yourself if your kindness is being returned back to you.
Simple.
Yes.
If you ask yourself, I'm being nice, are people being nice to me? You find a way. Maybe your niceness is not being good enough. Or what is wrong with you being niceness and you're not getting it back? I think if you also try to question yourself in this aspect,
Yes.
we can
But
get to where we are going.
Yes,
Sheila,
yes.
I think you are the only person who was questioning. Who question what? Do people
What?
question anything? Do we have time? We are busy. You could what pa for me question then. You could do power then.
Me ne wo na edi pa na me fi say ye di pa o. Me go so bisa me ho say, dia me ye ma wo no wa ye bi ama me. Me bisa so onua etesan wa brabo tesan e kosan. Wo so wa bisa me so me de e kosan.
Sorry,
Eda
my
no,
did you
eda
to
no
tree,
o
no?
kan bibi kire me. Ade a chen ye no me bebi sa so onua na o ye ne sen. Me de na me be ka kire no we bisa me say me de no me ye ne sen. When it comes to me in terms of my friend, like I said, I chose my friends. They don't choose me.
Mm-hmm.
So my circle is very little. If
Oh
I'm
yeah.
being nice to you and I question, I will make a note of it. Are you being nice to me? So if you are thinking, I'm thinking myself, oh, yeah, papa, we dey good, don't expect maybe until so. Me dear, me ma will laugh. I'm thinking, say you are giving me back. And if you're not giving me back, I'm questioning myself, say, is there anything wrong? What I'm doing, am I doing it
Mm-hmm.
right? Is it the
Ooh.
reason why you are not giving it to me back? For me to know if it is right. And until we all get ourselves to this, that being said doesn't make me perfect or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm putting myself in a situation just to know,
Mm-hmm.
say, me nice na me ye good inti ye good na. Say you
Okay.
good I didn't na unye be mommy. In
Mm-hmm.
that case, I don't feel like that is why I'm superior in all this.
Mm. You know what, Sheila? I'm listening to you and I'm agreeing, but I'm telling myself that yes, that what you are saying all happens when you have done your work on
Yeah.
yourself.
Yes,
Because you have your boundaries. You don't just let anybody come in and treat
no.
you anyhow. But more and more so, I am finding out that the faith that we have, where we come from, we seem to have given, just because you're a believer means that it's a blanket, whatever, for anybody to come and abuse you and, oh, Nyamisi saying, be this way, be that way. No, Jesus, I always say that Jesus himself, he was not a pushover. He wasn't a doormat, people walking over
No.
him. He
Are you
got
kidding me?
angry. He went into the temple and overturned tables. There's righteous anger. You need to stand up and speak up for yourself.
Ama see she disagrees. Ama expand on it. Expand on it, share the various positions, and come to an understanding. Because and I make an Jesus a book here, but a honor, yeah, kind Bible, like, we don't really read that bit anymore because it's inconvenient to
No.
the agenda most people are pushing. He also said to his disciples, when you go to a place and you preach the gospel and you are not accepted, you come out of the place and you shake the dust off your
Off your
feet
feet.
and leave. That was also quite emphatic, wasn't it? When you
Yes.
give love, and you give love, and it is not welcome in a place,
Yes.
at some point you're gonna have to come out, shake the dust off your feet, and walk on. That's also in the Bible, but that one we don't preach because it doesn't fit an agenda. It does not suit an agenda. It says, "Love thyself as thy neighbor," but that second half of it is not read. It's not explained. You love thyself too, just as you love thy neighbor. So most people have actually flipped it the other way around. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Love thyself just as you love thy neighbor. You are allowed to love yourself too. Yes, it's also in the Bible. It just doesn't suit an agenda, so it's not preached.
But
Yes.
Amma, if you love yourself, then you're a narcissist.
Okay, fine.
We frown on that because I don't know. Let me explain it this way. This what we are just saying. Love your neighbor as yourself. Loving yourself. You need to love yourself. You need to be whole. You need, a whole person is somebody who understands themselves. They are. It's not to say you are perfect. Your
Yeah.
imperfections and your perfections, and you've accepted yourself. So it shows in the way you relate to other people. But us, because of this mindset that we have, we seem to think that if you love yourself and you don't put up with garbage from people or trying to say, that is boundaries.
Okay.
If I'm not going to honor myself, who's going to?
Thank you. And if somebody doesn't like it, okay.
Yes.
That's also fine.
So
Okay.
we've missed the boat on a lot of things, and we accept
Okay.
things. If somebody begs to differ and is doing their own thing a different way in terms of, hey, this is me, I love myself, so I won't allow Amma or Sheila to come and tell me anything they like, and I'll just sit there and smile and, oh, it's
No.
okay. No, me, the way I am, if you do something to me right now, I'll come and say, hey, Amma, you said this, I don't agree. And
Yeah.
people don't like that. But when I
A
ask you
lot
and
don't like that.
when I ask you and you explain yourself to me and it's agreeable to me, we carry on. You are not going to see me today. Next time I see you, then I'm like making faces and showing at Amma. No, or going to Sheila to talk and talk and talk. Oh, Amma did this, Amma did that. Next time you and Sheila are fine. Next time you see Sheila is not talking to you. That is what we do. Because we don't love ourselves enough to question things and say, look, this is
Thank
not making
you.
me feel comfortable. I don't feel good. We just
Thank
smile.
you.
But we
No,
do. See, I contest. We are hypocrites. That's the funny
Thank
thing.
you.
We feel hurt. We
Very
just don't want to
hypocritical.
show it. We are upset, but we just don't want to tell you. We want to look like we don't feel, but we feel because we are human. And it's about time we all acknowledge the fact that we are humans, we have feelings, we have boundaries, because we do have boundaries. If you've ever chat to people and you've heard their grievances, they do have boundaries. They just don't want to enforce it because it will look bad on the surface.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Amma, I agree to you to an extent, but it doesn't mean that you also allow people to overstep a boundary. And that's the point I'm saying. I love you to the point I can continue to love you. When you when you overstep the boundary and you begin to abuse me, then I'm sorry. You have overstepped the boundary and I am withdrawing some of the services. Thank you very much. Because I love me just as I love you, and I want to keep you and I want to protect you just as I want to love me and protect me too. And there's nothing wrong with that. I
I
should not
think,
sacrifice myself for you.
yeah, I think what we're trying to say here is that we need to hold people accountable.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, okay. No, that's okay, Ma'am. We need to hold people accountable. That's what some of the points that we are trying to raise,
Yeah.
Ma'am, that you can, it's not that, I don't think, say, and I can't speak for Sheila, but then I'm saying to that, I don't think she means say she's going to change her personality because of, but it's just saying that if I'm giving and giving and giving, and you're not reciprocating, then it's like, okay, let me move on.
Yes.
You can't let people just
That
use you.
that
Like
being said,
somebody may come to you and borrow $100. Oh, this, oh, that. Next time they don't give it back. And then they come again, you give it to them. How long are you going to continue to do that in the
thank
name of
you.
being kind? I mean, that's just an example.
Mm-hmm. Hello, sis. We miss you
Yeah.
here.
She didn't say one anthem to answer in term.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bam. Loving yourself enables you to understand yourself and what works for you. This makes it possible to understand how you feel about others as well. You get to know your values and it helps in your choices. Thank you.
You said it all.
Regardless, what I'm saying, don't let somebody's decision change who you are. No, no, not at all. I don't
But I
think
think,
so.
Amma, the thing we are describing is I am who I am, and I can give you up to a certain point. And when I have given you up to that certain point and I have no more to give, I don't have more to give. It hasn't changed my personality. I will do the same thing with the next person up until when I am capable of giving.
When
And
I
when we reach
realize it's
that
not
point,
working, I
we
move
have
on.
reached that point. It's done. I will love you as much as I love me. But if loving you begins to hurt me, then that is also a boundary overstepped. So we
Yes.
will adjust. Exactly. I will give you as much as I will give me. So I will not take my rent, and I will not put my rent in jeopardy just so I can continue to give you because you want. We will have to withdraw at some point. Yes, I want to be charitable to you, but I also have responsibilities. So, yes, I will take care of my responsibilities, and what I have surplus, I will happily give to you. And if that's inadequate, that's just tough. That's all I have. I will not take my children's school fees just to give to Shayla so I can look like I can give, because that is silly. That's irresponsible. There are certain things that I need to do to take care in my yard, and I tend my yard and I tend your yard. I don't stop working on my farm to be a laborer on yours. That's something we all need to actually work and balance. You don't leave
If
your
there is something I'll put here. Auntie, I just said, if you come and borrow and then you come and borrow, accept it. But my question, what I'm also saying here is, come and borrow from me. If it's my turn to borrow, would you be able to borrow me? If it's my turn to borrow from you and you couldn't borrow me, then meaning I've been borrowing to you, you are not reciprocating it. That is the point. That is where I stand. If I'm
and
if
I
I'm
can give
your
it to
friend,
you.
it's not
Yeah,
like
then
I'm expecting you to return the good I am doing to you. But I'm questioning myself that I've been good to you. I can come run to you for something, or you can come to me. But if it's my turn to come to you, how do you do mine? And I'm
ooh,
saying all this
Hmm.
because of my experiences I have with people. And
Oh
that
yeah.
is the main reason why I choose who I deal with. I would deal with who I think is dealing with me right. It got nothing to do with I'm not doing it with kindness, or I am not I or it's changing who I am. No. If you are my friend and I can visit you, I expect you to visit me.
Hello,
If you are my
Yaba.
friend and I'm visiting you, you are not visiting me, we do not have friendship. If you are my friend and I'm reaching up to you, I'm expecting you to reach up to me. If you are not reaching up to me, then that is it. So if you take that to be okay, I'm doing it to expect it. No. But I think if you are in my circle, I'm reaching out to you, reach up to me. Period. Our people have a way of they will come and borrow from you. If it's your turn, oh, uni man can be salmon, won't be salmon anyhow. But then if they think that they can come to you again, they will do it. So it should be the other way around. It got nothing to do with me being changed or me not being me, or I'm doing good to you and I'm not expecting it. If it come to mine too, that's how I handle it.
but you know, there is a slight extension to this one for me. Listen, I was the eternal do good and expect good to come from the same people that I did good to.
Yeah.
And I found myself always disappointed, always
Yes.
disappointed. And then I learned something, and it was quite
Mhm.
fundamental. What I learned was that I was overextending myself because I was expecting people to pay me back.
Mhm.
And so, what I have learned to do these days is that I give what I can donate to you charitably and don't expect anything
And
back.
don't expect
And
back.
if you don't give me back and it doesn't hurt me, then I am capable of giving it. The
Yes.
minute I begin to hold and to check for accountability and begin to demand reciprocity, it means I have gone beyond my charitable limit
Okay.
and I have to
It,
readjust.
it's a discussion I have with two ladies. These two ladies are grown-ups. Most of my friends are grown-ups. Like I'm quite weird. I rather make friends with people, my people
Older.
that are like
Yeah.
aunties group rather than my own group at times. So these two friends are very, very close. They grew up together. They are two Nigerians that are very close to each other. Now it came to a point that one was losing her house, and she have to ask a permission from the other to see if they can perch on her place until her accommodation is being sorted. But here's the thing: these two good friends, they are two daughters. One, it's not really good, and one of them doesn't want her daughter to be like the other. So now she's thinking, if I should let them come in, I don't like how this girl behave. And my daughter, who stand a chance of copying, might probably copy, and I don't want that. So should I allow my friend to come in whilst my daughter copies something I don't want? Or should I say no in the middle? The lady discussed it with me. All that I said was, you do what will please you and not the other way around. That being done doesn't mean you hurt your friend. So if it's me, I will apologize and say, you know what, I wish I could have helped this time, but I will not. Let us stay somewhere and let's keep our friendship. Rather than you coming together where something will happen and it will jeopardize the relationship. She took it and bam, just as he said. Was the friend hurt? Yes. But the fact that they didn't live together didn't complicate things. And they are friends again. Should they come together, it would have been worse. It's as simple as that.
I'm a Canada, be careful, okay? She says that's why I'm not answering her calls. Listen, sometimes I answer calls when I'm sat on the loo, and I answer calls in very inappropriate times. And then we get to a time when I will go insane if I answer one more phone call. So I choose not to go insane. And I avoid all those phone calls, as a lot of you have discovered the last few weeks. It is the same thing I am preaching. I want to talk to everybody about their problems, but there is only 24 hours at some stage, and sometimes it becomes overwhelming. And in the interest of the preservation of Amamansin's sanity, the phone goes on holiday. And you know what is funny? The next day, when Amamansin is sane, she can still help somebody. If Amamansin doesn't maintain her sanity, we all lose out. And I have to learn that responsibility of preserving my sanity for us all, not just for me, for everyone, for all of us. And sometimes say to people, we will discuss this one tomorrow. Last week, I found myself responding to people, may answer Wukiada why? This was like Thursday. I meant I will answer the next week on Wednesday. Pachobe Sende will answer next week Wukiada why? And people were looking at me strangely because I knew I had a few deadlines and timetable clashes coming up. And I just couldn't deal with the brain space of trying to understand somebody's marital issue to give them good advice. If I attempted to give advice at that time, what I would have given would not be suitable to the scenario. And so, Mema Wumiaye next week, why? And I had to say that. And those who are willing to wait, you have received more sensible things from me this week than you would have got last week anyway. And yeah, that's the honesty we all need to come to at some point. You can give up to a certain point and you can tip that balance if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And it is responsibility to yourself that you do not tip that balance.
No.
You don't. You don't. Yeah, these days you come to me, Amma, I want $5,000. I will go to my bank account. I will check how much I have. And then I will ask myself, how much can I dispose of? And in most cases, it will be $20. So I will call you, Amma, I know you want $500, $5,000. But in all honesty, I can give you 20. You know why it is 20? Because when I give you 20, I don't even expect you to give it back to me. That's what I can donate to you. And if you give it back, hey, if you don't give it back, we hey. And I don't need to be very angry because you've not returned. I am not going to take my rent to lend to you because it will create a problem for both of us later. No need. No need.
You will get hurt at the moment where I didn't give it to you. But the point here is we still have our friendship. It will be rather than it being ugly. We wait until it turns into ugly, then we don't have friendship
Because
anymore.
we extend ourselves too much. What we attempt to do is not sustainable. And then over time you get flustered and you start clawing back and scratching back. And then the other person is used to what you started with. They feel betrayed because you've changed the terms. It's better to go in the way you intend to carry on. Much better the way. Oh yeah, but some people, I know some people in my life who really need it repeatedly. And so every time you come, if I can give you $10, I'll give you. And I don't expect it back. But like I said, it will not be a penny more than what I can donate to you. If it's something I've earmarked for something, I am not taking it out for you. I probably will help you go to a bank. I will direct you on places to go and get finance. I will sit down with you and do financial budgeting and stuff like that. But I am not going to risk my rent just because you cannot add and subtract for yourself. That is irresponsible because we will end up with two people homeless.
It's true.
Yeah.
And people are just users.
I'm telling you, we will end up two people homeless. What's the point in ending up two people homeless? What's the point? Anyway, today we are discussing quite a few things, and as happens on this platform, we always go as deep as we can and we make it as practical as you can. We use current circumstances and we have got to build on kindness. We will continue with build on patience and laughter and the rest of them on a subsequent session. Because what I also don't like doing is adding too many things too quickly and not allowing time to reflect. Those of you who've read the section with us, it is from Auntie YAA'S book, Reflections for a Thirsty Soul. And the exercises we do here are supposed to be conversation starters. We want you to carry on the conversations with people in your home. We want you to share the videos with your friends and family. There are some people who are users but don't know they are. Maybe when they watch feeds like that, they might come to a realization. There are some people who are also allowing themselves to be abused and think that it is love. It is not. It is irresponsible to both people in the end. Share the video with those people first. It is a book which is very good for young adults and teenagers, just so you can interrogate how their moral fiber is constructing, so you can understand their thought process and you can share your beliefs with your children. So they are deep, deep, deep passages to read, and it can be interpreted in so many different ways. Invite your children to share their views and you share yours openly. So everybody is clearer where each person's boundaries are and beliefs lie. And maybe we might get to know ourselves better and we might be able to interact more honestly as we go along. And we might see less strife amongst us. Sister Amma, let me come to you. What have you picked up today? Oh, you want to join? Yes, Amma. I can send you the link. You can come join and say something. It's not a problem. Give me 1 second and I will find the invitation and I'll send it to you. This is Amma. I was coming to you and I was asking what you had actually picked up from today's session.
What I pick up is the last reflection, which says, may God continue to be the anchor in our homes,
Yeah.
for we can do nothing in our own strength.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. That is
So,
inclusive. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like, no matter what it is, as much as we are still trying to do our best in our homes, we should still trust Him, rely on Him. And with His relying on Him, we will continue to find a way, no matter the difficulties. And Thea, I think that was what you summarized me. So whatever. You are just so good in summarizing things.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That I will echo that for sure. And so, yeah, so we have been dissecting this, and I'm sure some of the places we've taken it to might not have been where you originally took it to. Which of the interpretations today has surprised you?
Well, let's see. Not much. Like, I mean, I was only able to relate the realities currently going on in our communities to some of these pieces, but when I was writing it, I may not necessarily have thought that far.
Yeah.
And then too, like, it's what I'm learning too is that we need to be a people who question things a little bit more. I remember I was on someone's platform and I'd written whatever topic they were deciding. I had written that because of our placid and unquestioning nature, we just accept everything. And it becomes difficult because you live there and it's like that. When you come here, you have to put on your critical thinking, like, why is this way? Or why are we doing things that way? And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. And I find it boggles my mind to find that we're in the year 2020, and you see a thread of your own countrymen and insults back and forth because we do not know how to accept each other's opinions and views. It all comes from, if you love yourself, you're not going to be insulting somebody. You'll respect another person's opinion, that it is a different opinion, but you just step in the middle and say, okay, we agree to disagree. So
Very interesting. As usual, when I finish these things with you, you create more problems for me to reflect on. I have settled some of the things that were jumbled up in my head for sure. But now I have also got another set of jumble that I need to go sit down, regurgitate, reflect on. But yeah, I have learned quite an awful lot about foundations. I have learned about accepting and appreciating God's role in life. I have learned that striving alone doesn't necessarily get you where you want. It is also got to be aligned with God's purpose in your life. And when the appointed time comes, I am a true believer that in the appointed time, everything is made beautiful, everything is effortless, and it happens seamlessly. And until that appointed time comes, you really work hard and don't see any progress. And so, yeah, where can we buy the book, and why should we buy the book?
okay, just give me a second. Hang on, that didn't show properly. I'll have to run that again.
Okay.
Because I was hiding the, what do you call it?
Okay. So those of you who've only just popped in, it's a book read, but it's a book read of Auntie YAA'S book. Yeah, you enjoy some stories here, but it's always a small fraction from that segment. There is always more to actually check out in the book itself. It will be for your personal growth and development, and definitely in support of Auntie YAA'S work. So go buy it. Definitely add that to your Christmas shopping list. Make sure that this is one of the books that you are buying to gift to people, because you don't know who needs to read that kind of refreshing text. It is reflective. If you have a group of girlfriends, a group of boyfriends, whoever, you want to read it as a family, then do buy it so you can read and you can dichotomize with people who are in your circle. It will help you to get to know each other's views a lot better. It will help you to learn together and to come to a common understanding about some core things about beliefs. So, Antia, do you want to say anything whilst we're wrapping up?
Well, the most important thing that I'll say is, we're talking about building a home, and one of the pieces was the love aspect. We need to learn to love ourselves as people, because in life you can only give what you have. And if you don't love yourself, it is not possible to extend yourself to your neighbor. I think that if we did a lot of this work, maybe our communities would start to be healthier, because you'd have more healthier people coming to the table, bringing what they have. The focus is too much on negativity and backbiting and backstabbing and bringing people down and all that. That is not healthy. The people who are out there trying to do the positive things, encourage people, they seem to be very minimal. But at the least, I'll say that you as an individual, you owe it to yourself to know who you are, to find out what you are about. Like yesterday, so because of my second book, The Beauty of a Woman's Heart, coming out soon. Soon is someday coming. Like lately, I put up quotes about women, or things like that. And there was a sister who did a video last week sometime, and I happened to be watching it, and I put a comment to her that be unapologetically you. So this is how I work in my brain. Then I thought, that sounds like a good book title. So I started writing one-liners. So every day I do that. I put one-liners, but it's something to build on. So anyway, I think yesterday or so there was a quote by Brene Brown that I put up, and even Adjoa gave me, constructive feedback on it. It's something about talking to yourself like you are talking to somebody you love. And so I was telling my daughters, sometimes in life you go through days where you are not really yourself or at full kilter, you are low. Then I said, I read it and I go, yeah, you're putting these things out. Take a look again. And so I said they were out somewhere. So I was texting them and I said, working on yourself is a very important piece. You need to do it. And I said, you are in your 20s. If you get it now, you'll be way ahead when you hit your 30s, 40s. So that quote by Brene Brown, and I said, whatever I was going through, I started saying to myself, I'm this, I'm that, say, affirmations back and forth. And I said to them, it works. You don't know how powerful you are. So you sit there, if you don't know yourself and you don't love yourself, somebody else will come and define you. Or as how did Ferdinand put it, Senor, they'll come and use you and abuse you because you yourself, you don't know your value.
Don't know your value.
Yes. So you are your own asset. And I say your mind too is your greatest asset. So use it now.
Yeah.
And I say, look, if I knew what I know now, like, whoa, you have the time, do it. And even me, like I say, I'm not writing myself off. It's not, you can learn. You have to be a willing partner in your own learning process. A lot of us don't want to learn. We don't want to read. There's audio books, there's all kinds of things. But love yourself, pamper yourself, do whatever, read a book, go, take care of yourself. Don't just get into caring about everybody else and not yourself. And as women, we do that. You have families and we feel so guilty.
Yeah.
But if you don't take care of yourself, your family is not going to have you because you have nothing to give them. So, I mean, people, yeah, we have to learn to love ourselves. It's a big job.
Bang on.
But it's worth it.
You challenge my thoughts every time. And I am very grateful that I get to read this amazing book with you and to hear your insights. Amma, today you have brought a very interesting You hate reading. I'm a Canada. Listen, and that's one of the things. Don't mind it. That's one of the things that I spent a whole hour and a little bit yesterday with some parents on. Yesterday, I had a parents' conference. And I was showing parents how you can use Microsoft Word. Tomorrow, I am back in conference with parents, and I'm showing you how you can use tools on Word and on PDF and on Preview to have things read to you. You don't have to love reading anymore. These days, you can have things read to you.
Exactly. Easy way.
And have type for you. These days, you can have things help you write. You don't have to love reading. There are many things. There are many ways of getting the information accessible to you. So, Amma, you have to come in conference. Those of you who want to come in conference,
Hi,
go
Sage.
The links are right there. Hello, Sage. The links are right there. Go check it out. If you want access to yesterday's seminar, check on my page. The links will be there. You can go book yourself in, have access, and learn how to use these tools because they are on everybody's laptop, everybody's phone. And after that, we will have the number one.
Yes.
Yeah, you look after number one first, and you will have the mindset to look for others. I'm telling you. She hates reading, but she can read it when she gets it for free.
No. Mommy Ama, my boundary is show me my money.
Oh, she's hilarious. But yeah, it's one of the things that we all have to learn. I've had to learn that you are going to get the book, yes, by going to Amazon, and by ordering. I'll send you a link so you can get the book and we can all read. Those of you who've been here with me from the beginning, you saw me doing everything for free. And then at some point, I realized that I couldn't sustain everything.
Hello, Adjoa.
Adjoa. I couldn't sustain everything for free. I had to come out and be clean and tell you guys I can't sustain it all for free. So these days, if you want Amma, you go to my website and you go book yourself, and then you call me, and we have a lovely hours conversation about your marriage. Because otherwise, I cannot be listening to.
For free.
Yeah, you can get 10 minutes of my time for free. I mean, some of you send me your long things and I listen, I'll send you one liner because that's all your 10 minutes allows you to get. You want to spend 2 hours talking to me, go to my website, go book.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it is
Well,
a
to my
session.
Canadians, Sister Amma, let me drop this in. To my Canadians friends, if you're in Edmonton area, visit Sheila's Kitchen. I have something good for you.
Awesome.
When did you start?
Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while.
What do you think?
Well,
So what's
I
available in
can't go to
Sheila's?
the classroom. When I decided I can't go to the classroom anymore because of my little boys, I decided to do something different. I jumped online to take food safety certificate, and I only advertise with my mouth for the community. And that comes back to those of us that are not doing enough in our communities. If you're in a community and you get yourself involved and do your part, it builds you a little. Because I'm involved in a community, whatever it is that I have to do, I do my part.
Look at
I
them.
only advertise it with my lip, not with anything. And
Also,
then
tell me, whilst I can hear from your lip, what is available in Sheila's Kitchen and when is it available?
well, with visit chillerskitchen.com, you will see what is available. I have my menus there and what I do. So I started advertising with my lip. Come on now, I'm home now. Come on, order food. With the little people that I know, those that come on, help a sister here. Come, I'll give you something
Yeah.
delicious. And
Do
like
your
a
own,
joke,
yes.
it kept coming on. I realized that, well, I'm not doing bad at all. So I have to put it into practice. So I have to build a website for it, do
Well done.
flyers and stuff like that.
Well
So
done.
it was something I started under the table. And
Well
now
done.
that I have the certificate and I can register and I have it registered, now the
Awesome.
advertisements have to come and pop
Well
in.
done.
Awesome.
Well done.
Good,
Well
Yeah.
good,
done.
good, good.
Very proud of you. Well done.
Thank you
Good.
so much.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Right, guys. Thank you
Amma,
so much.
I want to say one last thing.
Yes, please.
So tomorrow we have a book live at 6 p.m. on Reflections for a Thirsty Soul, and we'll be treating a woman, Know Thyself. I believe
Ooh.
it's on page 147 or so if you have the book. And as of October 4th, which is, I think it's 2 Sundays from today, we'll be changing the order of the book lives on Sundays. We're going to start doing A Woman's Heart, Real Talk. And it will be based on snippets from my second book that I said was coming out soon. So we'll have 3 Sundays of A Woman's Heart. And then the last Sunday will be reflections. But I do believe we'll be continuing with the Saturday morning lives. The next morning live will be on Saturday, October 10th, because I'm not available for the next 2 Saturdays. So please join us tomorrow, and also keep in mind, October 4th, women, we have a lot of, we have a lot to discuss, and we have a lot of, what do you call it? Oh, what did she say? Oh, we
Anna.
can read from the website, Yaba. Hey, Mami Ama. Mami Ama is
Yeah.
advertising you.
Yes.
I also
Please
come
do
and throw
that.
my links on your lives, okay?
Please
You
do.
agree? Yes.
It's a deal.
Already,
It's
I
a
know her. I've heard her say, "Hey, if you come here, you throw my links and you don't tell me or something, something." Already, only mean, it's good you have started. I also start.
it is a deal.
Mami
It-
Ama, tomorrow 8 o'clock your time, okay? If you are free. I know Sunday nights is busy. You are probably preparing for school. Reading with Juice Plus. Hey, fair.
Very sweet.
So join us. I was going to say that women, we have a lot of issues, a lot of things. We have a lot of good insiders that we need to bring to the table. And I tell you, it's an interesting read, interesting discussions. The book, I'm just advertising some more on the book. The book has 4 parts to it. There's a section called Keeping It Real. And then there's Comfort for a Weary Woman's Soul. And then Dear Woman's Devotional. And the last one is Woman Empowered. So it is, it's.
Auntie, yeah, do you
Mhm.
by any chance know the lady called Akosia Jemfu Afofie, who wrote a few handbooks for us to do back then back home?
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't remember.
There
Yeah.
is a writer. I'm not sure she was able to make it into public, but her name
Oh,
is
okay.
Akosia Jemfu Afofi, and she wrote those little books, and the title seems to be very, very much similar to yours.
Oh, wow. No.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of her. Yeah, no.
yeah,
No, she might be
So
one to go.
yes,
yeah.
send me the name. I'll look for her and see if I can find her somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure if she's online. I'm not sure
Right.
if she was
Okay.
able to come in public with
Oh,
like
okay.
the way you have done. But that
Okay.
it's way back actually.
Okay.
One of those homemade books that I was
Yaba,
reading.
Yaba. Yeah, that is true. But let's put it this way: they need to come up to speed. And if it's scary to them, well, my favorite expression that I realize Amma uses, let them put it in their pipe and smoke it. Oh, no. Mommy, I'm joking with you. I know I'll come and throw mine on yours, so don't worry.
For sure.
Okay, thank you so much. So join us
Thank you.
tomorrow, October 4th, A Woman's Heart, Real Talk. Join the Sassy Girls Book
Awesome.
Live.
I can't wait.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everybody,
Bye.
for being with us, and we will see you next time when we catch you. Goodbye.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
Mwah.
Bye-bye.